Hello, everyone, and welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. David Nuño with Luke Evangelist and Kaylee Dreyer over there at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Look, I hope, so the folks that are going to watch this are going to wonder why you have a beard.
Right.
Okay? And it's certainly a 14-year-old's beard. But that being said...
I don't know what 14-year-old can grow facial hair
exactly my point. That being said, there's a reason, there's a method to your madness.
Right.
Let this audience, because it's a different audience,
Yeah,
let this audience know.
Okay, until A&M makes over 70% of their free throws in a game, I cannot shave my beard.
Okay. Let's add up. If they shoot 75 or better,
right,
you have to shave everything off. You have to go.
No, I'm not.
Yes!
I can't shave my mustache
Do it for the
and my
people.
eyebrows.
That's what they're asking for.
Over 85%.
Okay, hopefully we'll only get like 3 free throws.
Right.
Yeah.
Over 85%.
And hit all 3.
And I'll consider the mustache.
Favorite part of the show?
Recruiting country.
Why?
Jason Howell makes me want to howl if A&M beats Ole Miss.
Please don't ever do that again.
Kaylee, I'll be here all week.
Making her debut. You did your debut on the Rewind last week, but
Yes.
today you're making your debut on TexAgs Live. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. I had a lot of fun, and my favorite part was Coach Schuberth and Luke talking about the matchup tonight against Ole Miss.
Look at you getting some love.
That's the first time I've ever had someone say I was their favorite part.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she looked at her note. She wrote it down to say, I better be nice to Luke. I saw that.
At least someone is.
And Brad Logan, an Ole Miss insider, was on the program. Olin Buchanan was on the program. I like Olin. He's my friend. That and more. It is the Rewind. Why am I worried about this game?
Well, first of all, I mean, there should be several reasons. You know, A&M is kind of inconsistent at times. They can be erratic. That's pretty nice. They can be erratic at the free throw line. Ole Miss has beaten Alabama. They went into overtime on the road to lose to their rival by 3.
Yep.
Other than if not that, they'd be in first place in the SEC.
And Chris Beard's a really good coach.
Chris Beard's a good coach. They've got guys that can shoot. Really, physically, they look a lot like A&M. You know,
Except for the rebounding.
Well, I'm saying physically.
Yeah.
They don't have the imposing big guys that Alabama had, for instance.
This is why I'm worried.
Tell me.
We're not a very good free throw shooting team.
Like I said, they can be, I'm being nice, they can be erratic at the free throw. But it's getting better. You know why?
Because Wade Taylor's back?
Because Wade Taylor's back.
And with Wade Taylor, they shot 42% against LSU from the free throw line.
Really?
I believe that's the case.
I thought it was better than that.
Will you fact check me, Kaylee? Kaylee's working her debut. We'll talk to her in a minute.
Wade was 5
of 6. And
and the rest of the team was
I feel like there were 4 of 16 or 2 of 16, whatever it was. Yeah, it was not a good number. Double check that with me. I might be drunk.
I thought they were like 4 of 15 without Wade. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So, but anyway.
You're probably right, but I think overall they shot 44%.
42%.
Oh!
From the free throw line.
Yeah.
Wow.
9
With
of
Wade
21.
Taylor.
With Wade Taylor.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So keep the ball in Wade's hands as much as possible.
I'll take 5 of 6, which is low for Wade Taylor.
Yeah, but he hadn't played in a while.
Right. And he still gave it, 12?
The one he missed was his first one.
Yeah.
And then he made 5 in a row.
I'm not worried about him. And honestly, like Pharrell Payne, who I think was 2 of 7, if I have that number correct, he actually had been playing well from the free throw line in the last few games heading into it.
I maybe this is wrong, but I'm more forgiving of the big guys
100%.
when they miss free throws. But I expect my guards to make a high percentage.
Yep. I agree with you. So that's why I'm worried, because all these games come down to the wire, right? A&M's bread and butter is getting to the line. But for that bread to actually have butter, they got to make their free throws.
It's not even bread and margarine.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
This is an area where, maybe they struggle or could be vulnerable.
Yeah, great question, Olin. Have really enjoyed following you for all the years. You do great work.
Thank you.
I think it's a great question. And the first thing I think they've been able to do is they bought into the Chris Beard culture. And I know culture's a word that gets thrown around a lot in basketball, really all sports. But what he's brought to the program in regards to running the floor, being disciplined on the floor, running his offense, playing really good, solid defense, I think that's the main thing that you're seeing. You never get too high with Chris Beard. You never get too low. The postgame press conference, we had a chance to visit with him following the loss to Mississippi State, and it was almost the same type of press conference we had whenever he came to the press room against LSU. And then it's kind of been the same way all year. And I think he's been very animated when people say, Coach, what are you thinking about winning games on the road versus winning at home, and the importance of protecting home field or home court advantage versus, trying to steal some on the road? He said he really doesn't buy into that. He thinks he plays every single game that comes towards, the team. And, you got one game here, one game there. Really doesn't buy into the numbers game. You need to win 7 or 8 conference games to get you in the tournament, or what do you need to be to have that Friday bye in the SEC tournament? And so I think just really understanding and watching the team kind of play as a cohesive unit, I think that's been a huge key for them. And easily, the area of emphasis for Ole Miss is rebounding. They were doubled up on the boards against Mississippi State. That proved to be a huge component of the win for the Bulldogs. I know Texas A&M does a great job of going to the board, so that's definitely going to be something to watch tonight for Ole Miss. And not only that, Olin, but it's they're being out rebounded on the offensive end, and that's what's killer for Ole Miss is other teams getting the offensive board and putting them back, and they've got a lot of easy buckets. They being Mississippi State, and so that's something they've got to try to shore up down this stretch run. I had a chance to look at their schedule. 9 ranked teams, and some of those in the top 5 are on the schedule for Ole Miss. And I think, and I know you guys can say the same thing for Texas A&M. The SEC is just a gauntlet this year, and just being able to see what the SEC's been able to do. So many great teams, so many great coaches. I think this may be the most fun SEC tournament we've ever had in a couple of weeks over in Nashville.
You kind of sum up their season, considering that opportunity may have not been given to them in years past, but they certainly found a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty clear Ohio State had the most talented team, and of course, anybody that hears me say that part, they followed up with, well, yeah, they paid the most money. And yeah, I mean, that's the way of the world. But, after the Michigan game, I give them credit because all hell is raining down upon them and they had to right the ship. But they had the right pieces to right the ship. They had Chip Kelly calling plays. Ryan Day's a really good football coach. He's now only the 3rd active coach in college football to have a national championship. So, I mean, there aren't many that do it. And he's now done it. But he got that team's mind right. He got them playing well. They came up with clutch and timely plays. And let's be honest, the Heisman Trophy winner this year is Travis Hunter. But the best football player in college football is Jeremiah Smith. And once Ohio State realized, oh, yeah, he plays for us and we're scarlet and gray, let's throw to him as much as humanly possible, that's when Ohio State's offense went to a different level. And as we saw in the national championship game, when it got nut cutting time, where'd they go? They threw the ball deep to Jeremiah Smith, makes a play, ball game, and they're going to be kissing the rings. But when you look at Ohio State, it was already a talented team. Then you added Caleb Downs from Alabama. Then you added Quinshon Judkins. Then you added Jeremiah Smith. Those 3 players in and of themselves were they the best players at the universities where they were, or the high schools they were? In Jeremiah Smith's case, yes. And so you add those studs to what you already had. You had Lathan Ransom at safety. Now you add Caleb Downs to it. Oh, my God. You had Travion Henderson running back. Now you add Quinshon Judkins to it. Oh, my God. You had Emeka Egbuka at wide receiver. Now you add Jeremiah Smith. Oh, my God.
What is the key tonight?
Manny Obaseki. Or just any guard from Dallas, Texas having a big game. That could be Wade or Zurich. But I think Manny is the key because the stretch of SEC games last year where he was going off, Ole Miss was his pinnacle.
Yeah.
Like the game in Oxford, A&M won by like 20. He had 25 points, and the game was a blowout the whole game. He was super physical, driving to the rim. That's how you beat an Ole Miss team that has size. Attack their size and get them in foul trouble. And then when you get to the line, make your free throws.
Yeah.
And Manny did that masterfully. And then A&M played Ole Miss again. He only had 12 points, but in back-to-back games, he had 37 points against Ole Miss. Shot 57% from 3, 53% from the field, only turned the ball over 3 times, and it was 2 of his best performances back-to-back in a stretch of 8 games where he was A&M's, 2nd best player?
Yeah, he's a momentum guy, right? Like
For sure.
if he has one really big game, I think he'll follow that up.
Yeah, and you're going to need to – you can't – A&M has talent, but assuming that they're going to miss like 8 or 9 free throws, you don't have the talent to just play average on the road in this league and win, especially against Ole Miss. you have to have somebody else step up. And Henry Coleman's given you some good points, like double digits a couple times in SEC play, but someone's got to go get you 20 plus. And I think you might need 2 or 3 players to get at least 15 tonight.
You're taking on a team that forces a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
You cannot play that game and combine that with missed free throws, right? So if both of those can be moderate numbers, then I think that's where A&M can have a significant impact with if Wade gives them 20 plus or if Manny or somebody else.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a must-win game, but looking at the schedule, A&M has to get one of these next 2 road games. You have to beat either Ole Miss or Texas on the road, and the way Texas is starting to play at home,
they're playing well.
Like Ole Miss coming off a really high-energy, exhausting rivalry loss in overtime, and in a place where you've had success, this seems like a win that is within reach for A&M, and you hope down the stretch that they can just make their free throws. And if it's a close game, A&M's going to fight until the very end, and you got to have faith in their shot makers to go and get a bucket late.
All right, Kaylee, you know what to do here, but you have to do it in Spanish. Tell the people what to do.
I'll do it in English.
That's fine.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thank you all. We'll see you hopefully after an A&M victory against Ole Miss. We'll see you next time.